We're going to start this practice in child's pose. Bring your knees to the edge of the mat and your toes to touch. If you have blocks available, take the blocks and place them out in front of you with your fingertips draping over the edge. Let your head just fall down. As you breathe here, feel your shoulders open and your back lengthen. Nice, slow, easy breaths. Tune into your body and feel the sensations you might be feeling. One more full breath. And then place the blocks off to the side. Extend your arms long. Rest your forehead on the ground. Take a big breath in through your nose and sigh out of your mouth. Press into your hands and roll your spine up. As you roll your spine up, bring your knees together. Drop your hips, cobra pose. And shift your weight back and roll through this position again at your pace. Shift back, feel your spine warm up and move one vertebrae at a time and one more. Hold your cobra, shoulders down and back. And release your chest down. Extend your left arm long, tent the fingers of your right hand, bend your right knee, and roll onto your left hip. Rest your head on the ground, gaze at the ceiling. And return to center. Extend your right arm long, bend your left leg, roll onto your right hip. And return to center. Place your forearms on the ground. Roll your shoulders down and back, Sphinx pose. Draw your sternum forward. Release down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes and press up to plank pose and shift your weight back to downward facing dog. Just take a moment and pedal out your dog here. Press equally through both hands. Feel the back of your calf open up as you drop your heel. Nice, easy breath. Now bend your left knee, drop your hips over to the left. Feel your right side body open. Inhale, lift up and switch sides. And return to center. Come onto your tippy toes and walk your feet up to your hands. As you walk your feet up, push the floor away. Keep your hands on the ground as long as you can. And drop your heels. Bring your feet to hips width distance. Hold on to opposite elbows for ragdoll. And you can sway right to left or even up and down. Or just find stillness. Feel the weight of your arms pulling your torso down, the crown of your head falling to the ground as your whole backside opens up. Release the spine, walk your toes to touch. Bend your right knee, ground your right hand down. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. You can stay here or take a bind. Release the spine, place your left hand down. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. And take a bind if you like. Lift your gaze, open up your shoulders. And release this bind. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your hands on your shins. Crown of the head is forward. Engage your quads. Feel the stretch along your hamstrings. Exhale, release your engagement. Drop your head forward, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Take your right hand, hold onto your left wrist, and reach over to the right. Let your hips drop to the left. Inhale, reach up. Take your left hand, hold onto your right wrist. Let your hips drop to the right. Inhale, reach up, look up. On your exhale, wrap your right arm underneath your left for eagle arms. Protract your shoulders, pull your shoulder blades away from your spine. Feel that amazing stretch. Inhale, lift your right leg, stork pose, and step it back with control to crescent lunge. Adjust your feet however you need to. So we have eagle arms and crescent lunge. Your back leg can be bent if that's more comfortable for you. Your next exhale, release your arms. Inhale, sweep them up. Breathe in, and on your exhale, carefully drop your knee to the ground, untuck your toes, reach your arms back up, shift your pelvis forward, low lunge. Shift your weight back, runner stretch, lead with your chest. Drag your heel back. Walk your hands over to the left, let your hips fall to the right. Protract your shoulders, feel a nice stretch along your back. And walk your hands to the center. Let your hips fall to the left. And reach forward, lead with your chest. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward, low lunge, cactus your arms, gaze at the ceiling. Inhale, reach up and straighten your front leg and open up your hips. So we're coming into a gate pose, facing sideways on our mat. Exhale, place your left hand on your left leg, reach over to the right. Circle your arm down and extend your arms forward for a puppy press. Left foot points forward as we drop our chest down. And walk your hands back up. Inhale, reach up. Square off your hips to the front of the mat. Shift your weight forward, low lunge. Place your hands on the mat, tuck your toes, lift your back leg, step back, plank pose, and shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Come onto your tippy toes, walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Breathe in. On your exhale, cross your left arm underneath your right for eagle arms on the opposite side. Pull your shoulder blades away from your spine. Feel that amazing stretch. On your inhale, lift your left leg, stork pose. And with control, step it back to crescent lunge. Your back leg can be bent here. You can hold it. Sink into this pose. Release your bind. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Crescent lunge. Lift your back heel. On your exhale, carefully lower your back leg. Untuck your toes. Shift your weight forward. Reach your arms up, low lunge. Shift your hips back, runner stretch. Flex your right foot. Lead with your chest. Draw your right heel back to the back of the room. And walk your hands over to the right. Let your hips shift to the left. And walk your hands over to the left. Let your hips go to the right. Return to center. Lead with your chest. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward. Reach your arms up. Cactus your arms. And reach your arms up. Straighten your front leg. Point, turn to the left. So we're facing the side of our mat. For gate pose on the opposite side, place your right hand on your right leg. Reach your left arm up and over. And circle your left arm down. Inhale, reach your hands up. Point your right foot forward. And we'll come into puppy on the opposite side. Let your chest drop to the ground. Reach your hands forward. Open up here. Just release the tension. And breathe into this pose. And now walk your hands back up. Reach your arms up, square off your hips to the front of the room. Shift your weight forward, low lunge. Plant your hands on the ground. Tuck your back toes, step your right foot back, plank pose. Shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hips, scorpion. Continue to press equally through both hands. And circle your knee in. Draw a big circle, envision the circle that your knee is making. And now the opposite direction. Open up your hip. Come onto your left tippy toes. Press into your left hand. Slowly and with control, drop over into wild thing. Lift your hips, reach your arm forward, squeeze your glutes. Feel your whole front side body open. And now ground your right hand down. Swing your right foot around and come into a high lizard. Drop your back knee. We'll slowly work our way down. If you struggle with bringing your arms down, you can rest them on a block. And start here and just give your body time to open up to this pose. You can keep your leg flat or you can roll it onto your side. Sometimes that allows you to open up a little bit more. We all have, our hips are also different. And I struggled with this pose for a very long time. And when I found that I can open my hips, I can sink into it a little bit easier. And if you're on the block and you feel that you've opened up a little bit more, you can lower yourself down, draw your sternum forward, bring your gaze forward. Bring your left hand over to meet your right foot. Circle your right arm up and around. Bend your left knee, roll off your kneecap, and grab onto your left foot. Gaze at the ceiling. Push your foot into your hand. Feel amazing stretch in your quad. And carefully release your foot. Drop your hip, your left hip to the ground and take your left hand and we're just gonna roll into a supine twist. So a fun little transition, gaze out over your right hand. Your left leg can be bent or straight. If you want a deeper stretch, hold onto your right foot. One more breath. And release the spine and we'll simply roll back to our bellies. Ground your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes and press up to plank pose. Shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg up, three-legged dog. Hips parallel to the ground. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Big circles. And opposite direction. Hold your scorpion. Come onto your right tippy toes, ground your right hand down, lift your left hand up with control. Drop your left foot over and come into wow thing. Open up, reach your arm forward. A lot of energy through your hand. And as you circle back around, place your left hand on the ground and place your left foot on the outside of your left hand for a high lizard. Drop your back knee and sink down. Maybe you can go straight to the floor, or maybe you want to use a block. Just relax your mind here. If it has started to wander, bring it back to just your breath. And calming our mind and our body. If you're using a block and you want to lower down, you can now.
3 more full breaths. And we'll drop our hips over to the right and carefully roll onto your back. Take your right hand, grab onto your left foot, gaze out over your left hand for a spinal twist. If you prefer, you can have your left leg bent here. And just settle into this twist. Maybe you've gone off your mat like I have, and that's okay. Just feel your body ground down. Two more full breaths. And release your bind and circle back around to your belly. Place your hands under, actually put your hands on the outside of your mat. Inhale, roll up, serpent cobra. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, release down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press up through plank pose. If you need to use your knees, that's okay. Shift your weight back to downward facing dog. And just tune in here. How is your down dog different than it was at the beginning? Do you feel more open? Are your heels lower to the ground? And bring your feet to about hips width distance. Ground your left hand into the mat. Take your right hand, hold onto your left leg for a twist. And then place your right hand on the ground and switch sides and twist. And return to center. Come onto your tippy toes and walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Release your feet down, forward fold. Maybe hold on to the back of your leg. Inhale, halfway lift. And release down. Inhale, reach up. Bring your hands to your heart. Step your right foot back. Externally rotate your right foot to about 2 o'clock. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lead with your chest. Hinge at your hips. Or pyramid pose. When you can't go any more, then just drop your head down. You can place your hands pointing to the back of the room here. Now take your right hand, hold onto your right foot. Take your left hand, thread it through on the inside of your left leg, and come into a pyramid twist. Release this bind. Step your right foot back, open up your hips, Skandasana. Sit low. Hands to prayer, or you can fly your hands, or if you're feeling really open, you can take a bind, flex your right foot, gaze at the ceiling. Release this bind, circle your hands back around, ground your hands down. Step your left foot back, plank pose. Shift your weight back, downward facing dog.
onto your tippy toes and walk your feet back up to your hands. This time we'll take yogi toe lock. So bring your feet to hips width distance. Take your two peace fingers, hold onto your big toes, draw your elbows out to the side. You nod your head. No. Nod your head, yes. Release the spine, walk your toes to touch. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. Bring your hands to your heart. Step your left foot back externally, rotate to about 11 o'clock. Coming into pyramid on our opposite sides. Inhale, lengthen, hinge at your hips, lead with your chest. And then relax into this pose, point your fingers back. Hips are square, tuck your right hip back. Now take your right hand, thread it on the inside of your right leg. Take your left hand, grab onto your right leg. So right hand to left leg, left hand to right. And come into pyramid twist. And release the spine. Step your left foot back. Open up into Skandasana. Flex your foot, hands to prayer. You can fly your hands or take a bind. Internally rotating your arms, wrapping around. And release the spine. Square off your hips, ground your hands down, and take your right leg and we'll move it into pigeon. So bring your right knee to the edge of the mat, cross your left foot over, extend your hands long, and just let your crown of the head fall to the floor and sink into your pigeon pose here. And maybe you rest your hands on your arms. And 5 full breaths. One more full breath. And carefully walk your hands up. Drop your hips over to the right and bend your knees and shift them over to the back of the mat. And we will find our way into pigeon pose on our opposite side. So however you want to get there. And sink your right leg back and slowly work your way down.
5 more full breaths. And slowly walk your hands up. Drop your hips over to the left and swing your legs around. Circle your left leg over to meet your right. We'll come into a tall seated position. Bring your right leg slightly out to the right, left leg in to meet the right. Inhale, reach your arms up, twist towards the right, and lead with your chest as it reaches far forward as you can before you just relax your head down. Bring your right arm in on the inside of your right leg. Reach your left arm up and over for a quick little lateral stretch here. And square off. And we'll just switch sides. Extend your left leg. Bring your right leg in. Inhale, reach your arm up. Twist towards the left. Reach as far forward as you can before you release your head down. Just try to relax in this pose. Relax your face. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And just settle in here. Bring your left arm on the inside of your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over. Nice lateral stretch. And release your hand down. Come to a tall seat. Extend. If your blocks are far away from you, go ahead and grab your blocks because we'll need them before we release all the way down to the ground. But extend your legs long out in front of you. Reach your arms forward. Tuck your belly in and roll down one vertebrae at a time. And rest your head on the ground. We'll take our outside of our feet and come into happy baby. Just rock back and forth. Hug your knees to your chest. Place the soles of your feet on the ground. Inhale, lift up. Squeeze your glutes, roll your shoulder blades down around. Maybe you take a bind. Keep your head, your gaze facing up so you have a nice neutral spine. Release your hips down, extend your legs up, flex your feet. Let your palms face upwards. Feel that energy just run back to your body. Cross your right leg over your left. Grab onto your ankles and draw them in towards your chest. And release this and switch sides. And bring your soles of your feet together. Open up for Supta Baddha Konasana. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly. Shut down your eyes. Feel the rhythm of your heart under your hand. And the rhythm of your breath. One more full breath. Bring your knees together. Take your blocks, place one between your shoulder blades. You might have to play around with the settings for whatever is comfortable. And you can rest your head on the ground and bring your palms out to the side. But if that's too much tension, you can place a block under your head as well for like a little pillow. So play around with the different levels of the block and whatever might feel good to you today. And just feel the weight of your arms open up your chest. And bring attention to your toes. And your fingertips. And bring attention to the energy running through your body. When we clear our mind, we can tune into our body so much easier. So now's a good time to practice that. Two more full breaths. And then carefully roll off your block and remove your block over to the side. And we'll come into our final resting pose. Tuck your shoulder blades under, palms up. Let your feet fall out to the side on the edge of the mat. Take a big breath in, inside out. Shavasana. Start to bring awareness to your fingers and toes. Wiggle them. And circle your wrists and ankles. And bend your knees. And find your way to your right side body. And press up into your left hand and come to a tall seated position. Place your hands palm up on your legs. Shut down your eyes. Breathe in and let it out. Bring your hands to your hearts. Bring your hands to your third eye, and on your exhale, we will bow. Namaste.